Good day everyone. So for this video, we'll be talking about on how to create ungroup frequency distribution in R. So um, again, UFD or the ungroup frequency distribution represents a set of data by listing the individual values together with their frequency. Okay, so to demonstrate on how to create ungroup frequency distribution, we will use the iris data frame or data table in R. So iris is this is a famous Fisher or Anderson's iris data set. It gives the measurement in centimeters of the variable sepal length and width, the petal length and width respectively for 50 flowers from each of these three species of iris. Okay, so we will use this data, okay, to demonstrate on how to create ungroup frequency distribution, especially in the species column. Okay, so now let's check the iris column, iris data frame, I mean. Okay, so you have here, okay, so you have 150. Anyway, let's check a few rows. Okay, so you can use head to check the first few rows in the given data frame. Okay, and there. So you have the first six rows in the data frame. So you have sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width, and the species. Okay, so again, we have three species in the given set. So if you want to know the number of rows, okay, in the data frame or in the data table, so you can use n row, okay, and then run. So that's 150, or we can use the length. Okay, and then in this case we have to select one column, not the whole data frame. Okay, so let's say iris and then the species column. Okay, just to check the number of rows in the given column. Okay, so again, that's 150. Okay, now what if we want to know the frequency of setosa, a particular species in the data set. Okay, actually you can use the sum function, okay, just to check the number, the tally, okay, the number of setosa present in the data. So sum, and then after that the data, so iris and then species. Okay, so we have to count, get the total of the species where the species is setosa. Okay, so let's check. Okay, so out of 150 rows, 50 of that is setosa. Okay, so again, this is a frequency of setosa. What if we want to get the frequency of the other two species? Okay, so now in R, we tabulate the values of that variable using the table function. Okay, so inside the table, just select what variable. Okay, so in this case, iris, then dollar sign species. So we want to create a frequency table for the species column. Okay, and then select that line, then run. Okay, so as you can see, we have setosa, 50, versicolor is 50, and virginica, that's 50 also. Okay, there. So we have three classes. Okay, each of the classes is the frequency is 50. Okay, now what if we want to um, transform this into a table? Okay, remember in ungroup frequency table, okay, first column is your um, classes, okay, and the second column is the frequency. But in using the table function, okay, the result of this is of course the first row is the classes and the second row is the frequency. Okay, but we want to have a different format. Okay, so in that case, we will use another function called data.frame. Okay, but before that, before we use that, so let's store the the result of the table function to a variable. Okay, so species that frequency receive table. Okay, and then iris species. Okay, so again, the result of table, okay, we will store that to the species that frac variable. Okay, there. So as you can see in your environment, so we have one variable. So let's check the value of this variable. So just click run again. Okay. Now let's convert this to the format of ungroup frequency distribution, wherein the first column is the classes, the second column is the frequency. Okay. So now we will use the data. Sorry, this one, data dot frame function. Okay, and then we will convert this data table to a data frame. Okay, run there. Okay, so here in the data frame, we just convert or transform the result of the table, okay, to a actual frequency distribution table. So the first column is the classes, the second column is the frequency. Okay, so you can use that by using the data.frame function. Okay, now, okay, I think that's it for the ungrouped frequency distribution. Okay, so that's very easy. Again, for ungroup frequency distribution, you just list. Okay, just listing those individual. Okay, in present in the given data, and of course with their frequency values. Okay, so the next video will be talking about the group frequency distribution.